Today we are going to go over our pull-up pro day. So keep in mind, first and foremost, guys, this is going to be a little bit more of an advanced benchmark that we do. It's going to measure how many strict pull-ups we can do unbroken in a single set. So it's not going to be something where folks are going to be able to perform with bands. This isn't also a weighted on the more advanced version. This is just body weight pull-ups, whether you are getting your first pull-up ever or whether you're performing 30 pull-ups. Strictly strict pull-ups. Okay, so by far the biggest thing as a coach is communicating the range of motion, communicating the standards, and then enforcing them as folks are doing reps. So before Ashley gets into the reps, we're gonna talk about the amount of rest that is allowable, because some folks are just gonna be incredible at grip strength and they can hang on that bar all day. So like many of our other benchmarks, we're looking for 5 seconds of maximum pause that's allowed at the bottom before we continue into the reps. So just make sure that that's something that you're looking out for while you're doing this. So we're gonna first go over a complete rep. So Ashley, go ahead and do 1 complete rep. So she starts dead hang, her feet are off, there's no momentum, this is her starting position. Now go, she's looking forward, chin goes over the bar, come back down. At the bottom, elbows extend, go ahead and relax. So that is the crux of what we're looking for. You cannot jump up into a rep, you start from that dead hang position, pull up till the chin passes the bar without overreaching, and then when I come back down into that full elbow extension. So why don't you do one, Ashley, where you're kind of reaching for that bar and you don't quite get all the way over it. That's not a rep. So she needs to be up comfortably over to where the chin is over the bar without reaching on that. And then why don't you do one where you're in complete range of motion on the way back down into a second rep. So she goes up, back down right there, incomplete rep, back down and rest. Good. Ashley's already done like 7 pull-ups, so we're gonna give her a minute to rest. But that's by far the biggest thing that you wanna look for. Range of motion, elbow extension, make sure that it extends and then the chin gets up over the bar without jumping into the rep. So the second and most important thing that we wanna look for is making sure we're not using momentum. So we don't do kipping pull-ups, we don't do butterfly pull-ups at Performance 360, which is typically not an issue, but sometimes you might see folks on those last few reps, they're really trying to bang out a PR, they're trying to get more than they've ever done, and they try to throw their knees up a little bit, or they kind of swing into the bottom. So why don't you do one, Ashley, where you're using your knees for help on the way up. So you see the knees kind of kick, so right there. So if she's doing that, go ahead and do one more. I wanna stop her. That'll typically stop the reps. Go ahead and relax, and that's okay. If somebody's using that knee momentum to throw themselves up, then that's when we want to kind of give them that tactile feedback, let them know that they're using too much momentum. It's going to be natural that folks are going to use their legs to some degree on this test. So if you're thinking like, what's that cutoff point where it's too much? If I'm the coach, I always like to get to about a 45-degree angle here, and if her knees come up above her hips, then that's typically too much momentum. So if I'm doing them, that would look something like that, where I'm really using those knees to drive up. It's a little bit unreasonable to think there's not gonna be any movement in the knees. So that's kind of that cutoff point for what we're looking for on that. And that's pretty much the basics of it. As far as coaching the pull-ups, you can do a deeper dive into our pull-up technique video, but from a reps perspective, from a pull-up pro day perspective, those are kind of the big ones on what we're looking for.